The First Coast's most accurate forecast from the First Coast News Weather Team, certified by Weather Rate, sponsored by AC Designs.
Hi there, friends. I'm meteorologist Robert Speta, and today we are tracking severe weather moving across the central U.S. into the southeast, and eventually, yes, here as well to the First Coast. So we're going to be looking ahead into our Sunday, where excuse me, we'd have this weather impact alert day in place for that threat of some of these stronger storms that could produce winds upwards of 50 to 70 miles per hour. Some hail is possible on the First Coast on Sunday, as well as maybe a brief spin-up tornado. As always, we are streaming on multiple platforms here. So if you are watching us on YouTube or Facebook, you can always download our First Coast News app. You can stream us live on FCN Plus. And I'm taking questions on some of those social media platforms as well. So if you see me answering questions, that's where I'm answering them from. All right, so let's take a look at the broader picture here, because this is a classic scenario with warm air building in ahead of a blast of cold Canadian air. In that collision, the battle zone, is where we are seeing those severe thunderstorms. Yesterday, we actually had some tornadoes into Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, all the way down towards Louisiana and into Mississippi here this morning, and it is going to continue to fire up to some of the highest threats of severe weather we've seen in quite some time across the southeast U.S. For specifically Jacksonville, we have that chance of severe weather here on our Sunday. A weather impact alert is in place. We put these out to let you know that, we're going to have some inconvenient weather. Sometimes it's because of cold air. Sometimes it's because of hot air. Sometimes it's because of snow. But this time it is because of that severe weather conditions, especially with a lot going on out there on Sunday. If you are here on the First Coast, the Players is happening. The weather is nice here on Saturday. Spring break is starting up, though, this weekend, so a lot of people want to head out to the beach. We want to make sure we give everybody as much of a heads up as possible before these storms arrive. So if you're watching this and you're like, okay, well, I want to know what's happening in my neck of the woods here, make sure you get that information and you share it out with people so people do stay safe here on Sunday. I'm not expecting, houses to get blown away, but if you're sitting on the beach as these storms start to blow through, it is going to be a bad day for you. Not to mention, probably going to be seeing some frequent lightning out of some of these cells too as they kick on through. So let's talk about this. And where is this storm system now? Well, you can see the broader view here. We have that center of low pressure basically extending back towards Minnesota into Michigan. Also over here towards Wisconsin, you can see the cold air spilling behind it. Some pretty decent snow actually falling there into Minnesota today here. Extending it, that's why everybody's down into the First Coast for spring break, right? Cold air back towards the north. Extending off of that, you had that front that pushed through Missouri, Illinois, and Indiana yesterday. Some fairly large tornadoes reported with that. And then south of that is some even nastier weather here today, as all that cold air is on top of that getting fueled up by warm temperatures coming in out of the Gulf of Mexico. And that is kicking up that chance of high likelihood of severe weather today. Here's a look at some of those storm reports. These are all tornado reports here for the last 24 hours. Like I said, parts of Missouri and now into Arkansas, Illinois had some larger tornadoes. In fact, take a look at this. This is just some of the reports. Clicked on one there. Damage, glued a roof, torn off a home, numerous barns destroyed, a collapsed a cell phone tower, snapped trees. Laying in a cyclonic pattern as a tornado tracked over Odin, that is in Missouri. Clicked on another one further towards the south here. Camera caught a tornado and some debris getting kicked up. And then excuse me, I should have brought a cup of water in here with me. Extending across Mississippi, this is just north of Jackson. From this morning, or actually I should say late last night, multiple reports of a tornado ongoing out there late last night. And that same line moved off towards northeast, damaged some homes. There's a lot going on here. We still have a tornado watch in place here at 9:30 in the morning, their time, 10:30 on the East Coast. And you can take a look, actually. Look at this, a most recent tornado warning here into northeastern Louisiana. This is just south of, no, never mind. That's a severe thunderstorm warning. But we have been seeing some of these tornado warnings out here Actually, I'm going to just click on it and see if that is. Oh, that is a tornado warning. We can zoom right in on it here. And I'm not going to linger too much on this because I know you're looking for the weather on the first coast. But this just kind of shows you this line of severe setup out towards our west that is continuing to develop. And that is going to roll its way towards the east, towards the first coast. And let's pull up the velocity. Okay, I don't have any radars in place for that specific area. Trust me, we have that tornado warning in place, multiple severe thunderstorm warnings across parts of northeast Louisiana into Mississippi and Alabama. And this is actually a live look out of Starkville, just out ahead of some of these storms kicking on through. And you can see the flags or the fence line kind of blowing in the wind there, a solid low-level jet there in the Mississippi as that starts to approach them. This is what I really want to show you, though. So, yeah, I'm talking about, the current conditions. This is from the Storm Prediction Center. Now, keep in mind that these are from the smart scientists, all with doctorates out there into Oklahoma from the Storm Prediction Center. They put out these nationwide storm outlooks on the daily. It is not common for them to do the top level of the storm prediction outlook. A high chance, and I know it should be extreme, to be honest, a high chance of severe thunderstorm development. I want to put this in perspective for you. So the last time we had a high chance of severe weather was in May 6th of 2024. That was a tornado outbreak. An EF4 hit in Oklahoma. Now, that was issued the day of said tornado outbreak. The last time it was issued the day before, which we had today, it was issued yesterday for this high risk there across the Dixie Alley, was in 2012, and only one other time outside of today in 2012 was in 2006. So only 3 times now ever have we had a high risk of severe weather issued by the Storm Prediction Center. That just means they have the confidence in place that this is going to develop into something major. And I wouldn't be surprised if we have some long track tornadoes. The conditions are in place for not only tornadoes, but maybe EF3 or higher, the dangerous type of stuff that's going to be rolling through this area. Multiple layers to this. We've already seen it here on our Saturday morning, and more is possible through late morning heading into our afternoon. So, boy, there is a lot happening out here, and it is going to be a long day across the Dixie Alley, basically from Jackson, Mississippi, all the way out to Birmingham, Alabama. There in the purple, but outside of that purple, there is still that wider spread of severe thunderstorms. And then, of course, if you are on the first coast, that is here into the Jacksonville area, this all is going to shift towards the east. By the time it gets to our neck of the woods, it will back off in intensity. I think that the chance of some of these stronger cells developing in the major tornadoes is not going to be there. But a brief tornado spin up, yeah, ingredients are there. Maybe some damaging winds, 50 to 70 miles per hour, as well as that chance of some hail popping out of this. I like this graphic. It's called Significant Tornado Parameter. One of our high-resolution graphics, taking in helicity, shear, instability, and it kind of factors it together. The algorithm pops up, that threat of tornadic storms. Look at this into basically across Louisiana, extending back into Mississippi. That is some areas in purple and the darker reds, indicating EF2 or higher. That rolls towards the east across southeast Alabama into southwest Georgia, and then eventually into the Panhandle overnight. That's at 12:30 in the morning. And then eventually by 4 or 5 a.m., parts of the Suwannee Valley across the Big Bend area could be looking at that risk. Now, it does taper off. The severe storms will still roll through, but at least that tornado risk backs off a bit in the morning. But then it picks back up just a bit by the afternoon. What's happening is you're getting a little daytime heating that's going to be building in, with temperatures pushing into the 80s across parts of the first coast Sunday, and that is going to help increase the instability and maybe bring back that threat of severe weather. So lots to talk about here. Let's actually just roll this back just a little bit, and you can see this line pushing back across Mississippi, Alabama, some supercell development likely there into central and Mississippi and central Alabama. Then it rolls off towards the east, and we change our focus heading into tomorrow morning, early morning around the Atlanta area. If you have a red-eye flight, it's going to be a bad day in Atlanta to be flying. Moving across northern areas of Florida here through our early morning hours. I'll be on Good Morning Jacksonville at 7 a.m. I'm sure we'll be tracking some cells off towards our west. This is by 9 a.m., starting to push air into the Lake City area. And Jacksonville, Florida, likely around noon, 11 to 12, we're going to see these storms push on through. With that, like I said, that severe weather threat is still going to be there, especially if we get heating in the morning. That helps to increase the instability in the atmosphere. We could be looking at a chance of some stronger cells, maybe even tornadoes. If you are going out to the Players on Sunday, I know it's the finals on Sunday. You have plans. I think they're already sold out. The Players, of course, if you're not watching from the First Coast area, you're just not aware of golf. The Players being the big golf tournament. People from all around the country and the world in town to watch this at TPC Sawgrass. There will be a delay. There will. I will put all the money on it. There will be a delay. There will be. The morning is they're going to try to get some tees off in the morning, but the finals start at 2. So either one of two things happen: they try to get the finals in early, or they delay it until after this rain passes. But there will be a delay at the Players because these storms are going to move through at 11, 12 o'clock in the middle of the day. Lightning is an immediate. They're getting everybody off there, but of course, if it's raining, if it's thundering, if it's windy, they're not playing golf. Point, stop, blank, end of story. So Sunday is just a day you don't want to be. If you are going to be outside, get it done in the morning. Get your stuff, if you want to go to the beach, get it done in the morning because by midday, make sure you're ready to go with this. And plus, on top of that, I can't stress enough, and of course, I work at First Coast News. I'm going to tell you to download the First Coast News app. It's my job. But I'll be frank with you. I use it. Because you get the post notifications, it'll geolocate you. So if you are at TPC Tallgrass and there is a severe thunderstorm warning, it'll tell you. On top of that, there's a nice radar tool on there that you can track the radar and you can see what's happening. So make sure you download that First Coast News app. Have any way, though, if you really, really don't want to, I just make sure you have a way to get notified. A weather radio in your home or something to make sure you're notified when these storms start to roll on through, especially for people out west, too, into the Suwannee Valley, because the storms could arrive prior to sunrise for you. And if that happens, a lot of people might be sleeping, so have a way to just kind of wake up, be notified, see what's happening as this pushes overhead. It's just seeing if there's any questions or anything here on our social media pages. If you guys have any questions specifically about what I'm talking about here, let me know. All right, so this is called CAPE, Convective Available Potential Energy, and it's basically shows the amount of instability in the atmosphere combined with moisture that is streaming out of the Gulf of Mexico here. So those combinations shows that, a lot of obvious instability across Dixie Alley here on our Saturday. Dixie Alley being Mississippi, Alabama, Louisiana extending into Georgia. It's basically kind of the new tornado alley with more tornadoes actually firing up there this time of year than we see out west at times. So across the Panhandle, this is early in the morning. Look at all that instability around Panama City, and then eventually that instability extends into the Suwannee Valley over towards Columbia. I mean, you can see where that's firing up there around 8, 9 o'clock, and then we get closer to about 12 o'clock. Plenty of it around the First Coast, but especially just south of Jacksonville. We could be seeing some stronger cells even develop around parts of Putnam County to St. John's and Flagler County with some supercell development possible here by Sunday afternoon if we get enough of that instability. And then we take a look aloft. So I'm going to get a little into the weeds here, but I just want to explain, as meteorologists, we just don't look at weather models. We look at what's happening all throughout the atmosphere, and we get this upper level data thanks to our friends at the National Weather Service. They launch balloons twice a day, albeit recently due to cutbacks. There's some places out there only launching about one a day, unfortunately, and it could impact weather models. Hopefully it doesn't. But the point is, We use that to get these good upper level data here as this trough kind of kicks on through. You can see where the jet stream is going to be setting up, and it's really kind of tilting to the right at times here, which is what we call a negatively tilted trough. And we're able to use this data to help indicate that, there's also that increased high risk of that severe weather breaking. Underneath this trough, we have a lot of atmospheric energy, upward vertical motion, what we call vorticity, indicated here in the red. These are all factors that come into place as to why we are saying there is that increasing severe weather threat, not only across Dixie Alley, but also closer to the First Coast throughout the morning into the early afternoon hours. So definitely that chance there. At the very least, rain, some thunderstorms are possible here on our Sunday. For Saturday, for our friends here in Jacksonville, Florida, 85 degrees. It is sunny. It is warm. If you have weekend plans and you're debating on going out today or going out tomorrow, today, do it today. Just get your stuff done with. If you want to go shopping, just do it today. Tomorrow, just wait for the storms to pass. And after they pass, things should calm down by late evening, albeit it will be cooler with a northwesterly wind. Remember that. If you're heading out to the Players today, like I said, tomorrow will be delayed midday with those storms arriving. Today's going to be just interesting for some golfing because, they're professionals. They know what's up. They know what they're doing. But it will be interesting, especially on the 17th hole. That is the famous Island Green. The winds are going to be upwards 10, 25, gusts to 30 miles per hour at times out there. It's going to be interesting how, especially by the afternoon into the evening, how the wind affects play, and if it is an obstacle that they really have to contend with. Here on our Sunday, 82 degrees, strong to severe storms, of course, possible across the First Coast, as those southwesterly winds usher in those warmer temperatures until this line of storms does arrive. For specifically Jacksonville, you can see here on our Sunday, those temperatures warming up. High 70s, I do think we could peak out near 80 degrees mixed in there between about 9 to 11 o'clock there into the morning. And then we get those storms kind of building in. They're going to linger. And then we just kind of have residual precipitation. It'll be a lot lighter, but on and off heading through that evening hours, which is why I do expect a delay at the Players, but I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not saying it's likely going to happen, but I wouldn't be surprised if they delay it to Monday if it continues to rain through the evening, which I do expect. So once again, a weather impact alert day in place here across the First Coast from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. here on our Sunday. Widespread rain, severe possible. Make sure you download that First Coast News app if you have not already. We'll let you know if storms are popping in your area. You don't even have to be on the First Coast. Wherever you are, it'll geolocate you so you can be notified here as those storms do arrive. And taking a look, just timing this out one more time, because I know we always get a lot of these questions from people saying, when's it going to hit my house? I get it. Here's your time. So early morning hours out towards the Suwannee Valley, about 7 to 11 o'clock in that lighter blue there. So Waycross, you're going to start to see it. Probably about 8, 9 o'clock for you. 11 to 2 across Jacksonville, the initial line of these storms at the very least. I think Jacksonville, Florida, there around inside the Beltway, probably going to be closer to about 12 to 1 o'clock. And then eventually shifting towards the south and east. The later in the day, the more heat builds up, the more instability. So maybe around St. Augustine, Palm Coast, you also could be looking at some additional severe thunderstorms as this kicks on through. So another look at our futurecast, just showing this. Moving off towards the south and east here by 9, 10 o'clock. There's the time I told you about 12 to 1 over the Jacksonville area, and then continuing to shift east offshore with drier air spilling in by Sunday night. And if you got plans maybe to go out to St. Patrick's Day or something like that here on Sunday night over towards Monday, bring a sweater because it will start to drop off with those temperatures. Let's go county by county. Enough with the meteorological mumble jumble. When's it going to hit my house? That's what people want to know, right? Well, here you go. Ware, Brantley, and Pierce County across the southeastern areas of Georgia here. 7 to 11 a.m. Main threat there is going to be strong winds with a line of probably straight line winds. We'll get a good squall line more than likely with that chance of some severe thunderstorms. It also is going to be early in the morning. So make sure you have the app alerts on. and your phone is not on silent, just in case you're sleeping in. You can be notified if these storms start to hit your area. Glenn, Camden, Charlton, Nassau County, 9-2, about 1 o'clock. A little bit later in the day, but still going to have these gusty winds, maybe 50 miles per hour or higher. So secure outdoor property. And we're talking about, lawn furniture, things like that. So the stereotypical meme where the lawn chair tips over and everybody goes, oh, there it is. Well, yeah, that. But also any lighter things that you just don't want blowing in your neighbor's yard. Your trampolines. Anytime there's a severe weather outbreak, tie down your trampolines, flip them over, do something. I have seen many photos of trampolines launched into somebody else's house, and it's amusing because it's without fail. Columbia, Baker, Union, Bradford County, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. as I expect those storms kind of roll through your area. Lake City, you're probably going to start to see it closer to about 10. Isolated severe with those stronger winds. Also maybe a brief spin-up tornado. Make sure you have those alerts on there for you too. And then we move closer to Jacksonville, 11 to 3, but I think closer to about 12 to 1 if you want me to, if you're going to twist my arm about exact timing. Of course, Sisk and Sway, we're still about 24 hours out from it, so it changes by a few minutes. I'm sorry, but I do think 12 to 1 o'clock is going to be about the biggest chance. Isolated tornado, 50 mile per hour winds or higher, maybe even gusts to 70, and if we get a good strong cell. So secure outside property, obviously. Yeah. But also I think more so just be weather aware. That's the key thing. Don't be on a hike at the Timucuan Preserve, having a good old time out there a mile and a half away from the car as these storms start to roll in. You don't want to be that guy. 12 to 4 into the afternoon. So we're talking about after the storm start to move further towards the south. Gusty winds, Small Hill across Clay and Putnam County, but also maybe even some severe weather, especially if those temperatures start to build and we get additional instability. Out near the coast, that could even build the further towards the south to Flagler County. Think of what we had last Wednesday when out there around Orlando we had several tornadoes that blew on through. It was after the line kind of hit Jacksonville, but then they got into the daytime heating, which helped blow up instability. And further south, they did kind of get flared up with some of these stronger cells. So the further south you go, there is that increased risk through the afternoon heading into the evening hours. And if you are curious, after all of this is said and done, here on St. Patrick's Day, we are going to start to see a nice cool off with temperatures into the 60s there by Monday afternoon. Tuesday morning, we actually are going to cool off to the lower 40s here in Jacksonville. So those classic springtime swinging temperatures, lots of ups and downs, which are often a result of these cold fronts pushing on through. Real quick, Betty says, JC Seafood. I don't understand what you're saying. At a beauty salon is seafood. I started reading your question without actually reading it. It is, please clarify there, Betty. I'm not quite sure what you're saying, but cool. I like me some seafood as well. Shrimp, nice little flounder. I am keen on. I don't know about the beauty salon. I don't want to eat food while getting my hair cut. If you're watching an FCM Plus, I'm reading comments on Facebook. It's my fault for reading the comment first before reading the comment out loud before reading it here first. But if you guys have any additional questions, please just let me know. We're going to continue to track these storms. You can also, sorry, just smacked my hand on the keyboard. You can also follow me or any of the other meteorologists on our social medias. Just look up First Coast News / whatever meteorologist you want to find. Myself, Robert Spetta, meteorologist Lee Southwick will be here this afternoon. Or you can check out Tim Deegan or Ross Muma or Lewis Turner. We're all here covering these storms together. And if you shout any of us a message, we'll get back to you as quickly as possible. So, yeah. As always, though, thanks for watching. And tomorrow is going to be a long day to the chagrin of our digital manager behind me here. No, not just that, but it's just to the chagrin of everybody here at First Coast News. It is going to be a long day, but this is what we're here for, right? This is why we do what we do to make sure you're staying safe. So after Good Morning Jacksonville here on Sunday, we will be streaming live. If one of us are not on camera, we'll at least have a radar going for you so you can stay informed as we track these storms move across the First Coast. Hopefully it's a bust and nothing happens. That would make my day easier and better, but all signs point towards the chance of some pretty decent storms here on Sunday moving across the First Coast. And more so on today, our Saturday for Dixie Alley. Heart goes out to everybody who could be impacted today. There is that risk that is once every few years we get a severe weather setup like they're seeing in Alabama and Mississippi today. So we want to make sure that we know that they are seeing some very, very bad storms. So make sure you shoot us all a message or anything like that. We'll keep you posted. And as always, thanks for stopping by.